was a very different looking school 30 years ago when I came here. There was no Companions Hall, no Performing Arts Center, no Gardner building, and Old Loyola wasn't yet part of the college. There was no canteen, no wireless internet, no mobile phones or iPads, imagine that, and very few computers. The school consisted of 3 buildings and were identified by the letters A, B, and L. There was also a group of portable classrooms called D Block and 3 larger portables called the Arts Block, where art, woodwork, and textiles were taught. The vertical mentor system didn't exist, and in my first semester of teaching, I wrote out over 200 student reports by hand. My first school day at Loyola College was St. Ignatius Day, 1990. The school assembly was held in the upstairs Mary MacKillop building. With all the collapsible walls folded up, nearly 1,000 students sat on the floor for an hour and a half. And the nearly 100 staff stood around on the edges for an hour and a half. The Mass on that day was held at St. Mary's Church, located on Grimshaw Street, just past the Greensboro bypass. The students on that day walked to St. Mary's, and I have a vivid memory of a very long, blue, snake-like line that extended from the center of the school all the way down Grimshaw Street to St. Mary's. This was created by students wearing their college blazers as they walked. Students at that time were nicknamed the Smurfs, assumedly from the color of your blazer. From that first day, I was very impressed with the students at Loyola. I realized that I was going to be working with some very special young people. I still hold that first impression of you. When I came to Loyola, I was a newly converted Catholic. I had been raised as a Baptist, and I attended church on Sundays. I hadn't yet made the connection, however, that church was a way of life. I grew up in Pomona, California, and I attended a government school called Pomona High School. There were over 4,000 students at my high school, and this was only years 10 through 12. Pomona, at that time, had the second highest crime rate in the United States. It was second only to Chicago. There was a great deal of racial tension in Pomona at the time, and as students at Pomona High School, we learned to live with this. I learned not to stay at school past the 3:30 end of day. It was scary and it was dangerous to hang around the school after hours, but it was even scarier and more dangerous to walk home alone. I learned not to use the toilets at school, as this is where some students congregated, this is where they smoked, and this is definitely where they bullied other students. I accepted this as normal. We had lovely facilities at the school, but they were in a constant state of disarray with broken windows, graffiti, and broken bottles. When I came to Loyola on that first day, it was a breath of fresh air. And this grew to what I believe is called hope. Hope in my future, but more broadly in the future for the world. Many young people in this world are growing up in conditions as I did, or worse. They do not know or experience hope. Many do not believe they have a future. I've grown to believe that this is what sets not only Loyola, but Australia apart. People from other nations in our world see this hope and they want to come and live here for this reason. They want to believe that there is hope for them and a future for their children. 2020 has been a very different year for all of us. The pandemic has affected us. Year 12s will not forget the words COVID-19. But remembering last summer and the bushfires, we had weeks where our very air we breathe was affected. Every night we turn on the news to see conflict in the world. We see people shooting each other. We see buildings and lives destroyed. We have almost become desensitized by this and almost accept this as normal and inevitable. But is it? Are we hopeless cogs in a wheel that seems to be heading towards self-destruction? Love your neighbor as yourself. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. What do these words mean? Does it mean to eat more Australian steak while others in the world are malnourished? Does it mean to buy a house further up the hill while others drown in the rising oceans? Does it mean to build up your military arsenals so that you can defend your way of life from others who may want to join you? At Loyola College, I have now had 30 years of Christian community. I am no longer a new convert. I am now part of the church. There are issues in our church. It is not always smooth sailing. Some people reject the church because of the personal prejudices that they encounter here. I think that this is a shame. There is room for everyone. We are different. We come to the table with different backgrounds, different experiences, and different hopes and dreams. We have, however, a common set of ethics on which to discuss, debate, to bounce around and explore ideas, and we have an exemplary teacher in Jesus Christ to show us how to do it. As human beings, we have been given free will, but we have also been given intelligence. We have the ability to reflect, to think, to plan, and then ultimately to act. We also have other human beings to form communities to support and to help us. What lies ahead? How will we manage? Can we still feel hope for our future? What gives us hope? I have been at Loyola for 30 years, and it's now time for me to pass the baton on. I believe that you are up to the challenges that lie ahead. I thank you for the last 30 years, and I hope that all of you will find a working life that will be as interesting and enjoyable as my time has been here at Loyola College. Best wishes, and God bless.